Hello everyone, my name is Alexey, and today we will talk about TypeScript satisfies operator, which was introduced in TypeScript 4.9. I've noticed that a lot of beginners and even experienced engineers don't know when to correctly use the satisfies operator and how it actually works. I am here to tell you all about this operator in TypeScript, how it works, when you should use it, and why it can save your code from type assertions, make it more neat and clean. Please like, and let's get started. Cool, let's move to the code, and here we will have two examples on which I will explain you how satisfies works and what's the difference between default variable annotations like in the first example now and satisfies in second example. So you can copy this code and code with me. Okay, let's start with first example with variable annotations. Here in place of definition of goods prices, we've described pretty wide type of acceptable values. As keys we can have any strings, as values any numbers. So we can define below a couple of goods. For example, goods prices apple equals to 4.50. Goods prices bread equals to 1.50. Apple will be string key in our object, value will be 450, it will be number. The same thing with bread. Amazing, TypeScript accepts this. But now please pay attention to variable annotation syntax. Now we are operating on variable itself and describing variable for future values which could be inside of this object. For example, like milk, for example 350, or we can assign keys and values later in the code, like we did with apple and bread. Satisfies works differently. Let me rewrite this example with satisfies. I will pick this type, we'll go here, we'll write satisfies and my type. Nice. When we use satisfies, we make sure that already defined values inside this object are satisfy a specific type we've defined here. It's basically the main difference. With variable annotations, we describe values for the future, and with satisfies, we describe already defined values and making sure that we've defined them in a correct way that satisfies a specific type here. For example, we can add to this object onion, and it will be true, for example. We will have an error. Type boolean is not assignable to type number, and it's pretty logical because now we accept string as our key and number as value. Now we have boolean as value and we have corresponding error. Obviously I have errors with apple and bread, and it's okay too, because we can't add new properties to the object with defined values which satisfy a specific type here. For example, we can hover on apple and we will have corresponding error. Property apple does not exist on type milk number. Let's return it to variable annotation. I will copy this, we'll remove satisfies and create variable annotation. Yes, and error will gone because we support wide type for this variable for future values inside of this object, and if we will assign additional keys and values later. Okay, let's move to the second example, and I want to show you when satisfies really shines, when we want to narrow a type for a specific field of object. Let's move to the second example, and here we have a car object. As keys we will have obviously strings, but as values we can have numbers and strings. Strings for make and model, and numbers for mileage and price. First of all, let me describe a problem with variable annotation. Let me rewrite it to variable annotation. I will pick this type, remove satisfies, and write type here. Amazing. Now, for example, we want to get our car make and convert it to uppercase letters, then log it into the console. So I've already wrote here console.log and car make. I want to apply here to uppercase method and log it into the console. Yes, but we will have an error. Property to uppercase does not exist on type string number. Property to uppercase does not exist on type number. So to uppercase method can be only applied to strings. It's pretty logical, but we've also defined as our values number and string in our type. Here we have a problem because we 100% sure that in make we will have string. So now we have Rolls-Royce, but it could be BMW, Mercedes, Subaru, Ford, etc. But TypeScript does not understand it. Hence, to solve this problem, we have to use type assertions. So it will be like car make as string. And here we will have two uppercase method. It will be available to us. We explicitly said to the TypeScript that car make will be string. But it's a bad practice and it looks like a crutch in our code. Yes, but we can do it more neatly and in more correct way with satisfies. Let's try to do it. Let's rewrite it to satisfies again. I will pick this type. We'll write satisfies and put this type again. Yes. Now TypeScript will not only check definition of our values, it will narrow type depends on value. So it's a game changer. We don't need now additional assertion or checks. So let's remove our type assertion here. And now TypeScript understands that make is a string and we can apply two uppercase here. Also, if we will hover over price, TypeScript will give us an information that price is number. Let's add, for example, model. It will be model. It will be string, spectre. Yes. And if we will try to log it, we will have car.model. We will hover on it. And yes, TypeScript understands that it's a string. We can write dot here and see all available methods, and it's all available methods for strings. Amazing. We can apply specific methods to values without manual narrowing, and it's brilliant, I think. Let's have a quick recap. Overall, we have to use satisfies when we want to check types of our already defined values, and also provide type narrowing for future interaction with these values. For example, it could be config for some components, application settings config, etc. Variable annotation, like here, we can use if we won't know exactly which values will be in object, because we will fill it later and we want to define common types for keys and values to align them to a specific structure, like in our first example. Please like, subscribe, stay tuned, please subscribe to my GitHub, subscribe to my Telegram channel, and also suggest your ideas for the next videos. Bye!